Gentlemen, let me hit you with a hard truth right out the gate. If you're waiting for her to tell you you're good enough, then you're already losing. You texting her 3 times back to back, canceling plans to sit and FaceTime and asking, are you mad at me every day? Bruh, she ain't your mama. That ain't masculine energy. That's a boy begging for emotional reassurance. That's not a man living on the edge, and that's a man disconnected from his purpose. See, in the book, The Way of the Superior Man, he warns when a man seeks validation from a woman, he loses her respect and his direction. See, you need to be anchored in your mission, not her mood. That's the foundation for masculinity, not dominance, not silence, but direction. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, let's get at it. I'm Rob Johnson. I want to welcome you to the Legacy Gentleman channel. On this channel, every day we talk about the values, skills, and works that be admired and desired 1,000 years from now. And when you have that, you, sir, are a legacy gentleman. When you're constantly checking in, see her feelings about your decision, you're not leading. What you're actually doing is following her emotional whims. Look, I'm not trying to bash women here. It isn't about dominance. It's about design. Men are designed to lead in love, strength, and faith. And leadership doesn't look for permission every 5 minutes. Proverbs 29, verse 25 says, "The fear of man lays a snare, but who trusts in the Lord will be safe." Gentlemen, living for somebody else's validation, it's a trap. And the more you fall into that trap, the less safe, the less respected, and less free you actually feel. All right, let me break this down practically. What does validation look like? Over texting, walking on eggshells, apologizing constantly for being masculine, mirroring her opinion to gain her approval? Look, guys, that ain't love. That's insecurity with cologne on. Look, David puts it pretty clearly in his book. A woman doesn't want to be the one who grounds you. She wants you to be grounded without her. She wants to feel safe in your steadfastness and not be a burden with building your backbone. Look, if she has to play the emotional parent in the relationship, then you've just become a liability. And trust me, she will drift. A healthy woman wants a partner, not a project. So how do you stop seeking validation and start living grounded? Oh, brothers, you've got to get rooted in something bigger than your emotions and bigger than hers. Look, God is the ultimate anchor. Your mission is your daily compass. Discipline is your personal armor. And the brotherhood, brothers, those are your mirrors. But something more practical. How about you start here? Start with quiet time in prayer. Start with goals that don't revolve around her. Galatians chapter 1, verse 10, it's really the real talk that sums it all up. Am I now seeking the approval of man or of God? Am I trying to please man? Because if I'm still trying to please man, then I would not be a servant of Christ. Well, that's simply saying pleasing people makes you ineffective. Grounded men don't beg for attention. They draw it to them. Start chasing your calling. When a man is on his mission, he walks differently. He talks differently. He doesn't flinch when someone pulls back. Why? Because he's identified what he's supposed to be doing and it's not on a lease. He owns it. You don't become a bulletproof person overnight, but you can build one layer at a time. Wake up early and train. Read something that stretches your mind. Serve in your community. Look, guys, most women, they don't want a perfect man. What she wants is a person who knows who he is and where he's going. That, gentleman, is what turns her head and earns you respect. You can receive her love without being addicted to it. You know, attention is beautiful, but it should never be your oxygen. The minute you need her validation, you've handed over control of your identity to her. If she leaves tomorrow, will you collapse or will you continue on your mission? You want to be the type of man who is grateful for her presence but unchanged by her absence. A woman feels safer with a man who doesn't crumble emotionally every time she pulls away. Why? Because she can trust him to stand firm when the storm hits. Look, so here's the truth. She doesn't want to be your therapist. She doesn't want to be your emotional babysitter. She doesn't want a boy trying to get her approval. She wants a man she can respect. Gentlemen, we don't beg for crowns. What we do is we build kingdoms. And when a woman sees a man walking in his God-given purpose, she knows she can trust that he will lead not just her heart, but a legacy. So here's your challenge for the weak man. Cut back on validation seeking. Rebuild your identity from your purpose. Stand firm in who God made you to be. So if this message hit home, man, hit a like, hit a subscribe. More important, drop me a message down there in the comments. I'm building from purpose. Let's lift each other up because, hey, it's going to have to start here. All right, guys, so here's a reminder. Real men, we don't seek permission. We build on greatness. That's just who we are. So until next time, go be legendary.